Wahoo! All right, so CTV News is just Canadian television. News. Hi, welcome. Hello. Today we're watching Pete Hookstra embarrass himself. Because that's literally all this man ever does. I have yet to see a time where I've seen Pete Hookstra where he's not embarrassing himself. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Has everybody got their facepalm protection? You're not prepared for this. This is gonna be dumb. Alright, let's go.
Welcome to Question Period on this Sunday, June 28th. I'm Vashi Capellos. Today, miles apart.
We were not anywhere close to announcing any type of a framework.
Despite just days to go before the CUSMA review deadline, Washington's top representative in Ottawa says the two sides remain far apart. U.S. President Donald Trump consistently insists his country needs nothing from Canada, despite evidence to the contrary. So what's the path ahead? We'll bring you part two of...
Donald Trump keeps saying he doesn't need Canada despite evidence to the contrary. I think it's one of my favorite ways that I've seen a journalist talk about anything Donald Trump says. Despite evidence to the contrary, the President of the United States is doing whatever the fuck he thinks feels good at the time. You're still waiting on your protection to arrive? Yeah, mine hasn't shown up either. But I assume that FTFE is a busy boy. Hey, Borg, good to see you. I see Jason in here as well. Hey. Pete Jokestra. Yeah, what is it? Heat Porkstra? Two sides in a triplet agreement. Yeah, I know. Yeah, listen, there's the United States and there's everywhere else. That's the two sides.
Our exclusive broadcast interview with U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hookstra. Then, Canada's top soldier.
It's all about delivering actual military effects with those investments.
This country.
Oh, don't tell the Americans that we think a female is our top soldier. Look out.
Military is receiving a cash infusion not seen in decades, but is it improving the armed forces' overall readiness? Chief of the Defense Staff, General Jenny Carignan, is here, and I'll ask her. Plus, gloves off.
I don't believe this represents America. I really don't.
Hunter Biden, son of former U.S. President Joe Biden, is back in the spotlight, but this time it's his brutal honesty and sometimes no-holds-barred social media presence that's capturing attention, including tweets about Canada. So what's motivating this new chapter? Mr. Biden is here, and I'll ask him. We'll start today.
Hooray!
With the still-fraught CUSMA negotiations. At stake, the very survival of the trilateral free trade agreement. Earlier this week, we brought you part one of my exclusive broadcast interview with U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hookstra. He made it clear with just days to go to the July 1st deadline, Canada and the U.S. are nowhere near a breakthrough. And despite the two sides making progress in October of last year, the ambassador claims Canada has yet to make another good offer. So, what from the American perspective constitutes a good offer? That's where I started part two of my conversation with the ambassador.
Well, I mean...
Yeah, part two. Okay, what happened to Canada anyway? They used to import amazing things like Mr. Dressup, Bryan Adams, and maple... You mean export. You used to import them. We exported them. And real maple syrup. Now they just import wildfire smoking Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary fucking sucks. Amazing. I'm punching way above my weight. I am very small. Sir, I am very small. Everything is above my weight. Canada has nominated General Janine Kerrigan, the Chief of Defensive Staff, as a candidate for the chair of the NATO Military Committee. That sounds about right. Hunter Biden needs to go away. Listen, that's not gonna happen. The United States is too much of a fucking clown show right now for anybody to have the wherewithal to go away when they should. All right, let's see. What does the United States think a good offer is?
Again, the offer in October was great. It was 3 or 4 million barrels of oil to the United States per year more. A framework on a steel agreement that would have been good for the U.S., would have been good for Canada. Aluminum, same thing. Uranium, the same thing. Auto parts, the same thing. So I mean,
okay.
a good deal for both.
So the original deal, or one of the deals that was put out in October, was a good deal and it was rejected. Great, yeah, we got that. We understand that. So it was rejected. So what is a good deal is the question, Pete. He's not gonna be able to fucking answer this goddamn question. Canada is facing crisis internally with unchecked immigration. Do you have a citation for that? Can you please elaborate what you're referring to? How small is very small? You're under 5 feet. I am under 5 feet, yes. I am a homunculus.
For both countries is the deal that we both look at and say, you know what, there's a win in here for us. And Canada looks at it and says, you know what, there's a win in here for us as well.
So you think, do you
But you
still
didn't
think
take
it's
it.
possible for something to be arrived at eventually that is win-win? Because you will know as anyone else that there's a ton of analysis out there that says the president is not interested in win-win. He's interested in the Americans winning and the Canadians not. And many of his comments have been to that effect. We don't need Canada. We
Valid.
don't need anything they have to offer us. He said that on repeated occasions.
Yeah, the president's a phenomenal negotiator. All right.
The president is such a phenomenal negotiator that he hasn't gotten a single deal done at all. What happened to those 100 deals in 100 days? Is that where are we at on that? Is it still 0? I think it's still 0, and we're long past that 100-day mark, aren't we? I believe so. I could be wrong.
But if you read his book,
The Art of the Deal?
Deal,
No.
the only way you get to a deal is if both sides see a win.
Yeah, but seeing a win doesn't mean it is one, my guy. That's like the classic devil contract. You read the fine print just because you more interested in you than this political circus. Oh, see, you know what's up. Oh. I missed a spot on my head. Whoops. I'll deal with that later.
In what has been agreed to. And yes, the president negotiates on our behalf. He's negotiating for Americans. But you know what? So is Mark Carney.
What? It's fine. Go on.
Mark Carney
Sorry.
is not negotiating, obviously, for Americans, but he's negotiating for the best interest of Canada. And there are all kinds of things that we could be working together on and moving forward on. Critical minerals, additional uranium enrichment. Both.
So why aren't we? So what's the problem, Pete? Am I from Canada? Yes, I am. I live near Toronto, which is why it looks like Hollywood, Mexico outside right now.
Both countries have made a huge commitment to nuclear power. We saw the announcement here this week about that. The United States is doing the same kind of commitment. So we have all kinds of things that are.
Are you? Wait, hold on, guys. I need to fact check. Is the United States has the United States announced a big commitment to nuclear? Is that what? At all? I don't think that's true. I think he just made that up right now. Hold on. Hold on. The same kind of deal. U.S. nuclear power policy. World Nuclear Association. For those of you living in a non-nuclear weapons, blah, 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 blah. Going nuclear, DOE bets on America's future. 1 year after executive orders, U.S. Okay, let's get the Department of Energy. Let's see what this says. So this is the U.S. Department of Energy, so we can, You forgot I moved? You're not far from Detroit? I'm not too far from Detroit. Nuclear energy renaissance is in full swing. Okay, looking back on a transformative 12 months of progress since Donald Trump's executive orders on nuclear energy. On May 23rd, 2025, last year, President Trump issued 4 executive orders to revitalize the U.S. nuclear energy industry. The message was clear: move quickly and decisively to bring about an American nuclear renaissance, whatever the fuck that means. In the years since, we've seen an unprecedented transformation in the nation's approach to delivering more nuclear power than ever before. Next-generation reactor designs are moving towards key tests with impressive speed. Licensing for new reactors has been streamlined. Our nuclear fuel supply has been reinforced to meet future energy demands. Retired nuclear plants are on target to restart, and utilities are gearing up to boost the power output of existing plants. America's nuclear energy renaissance is truly underway. Last May, we explored 19 key takeaway from Trump's executive orders on nuclear energy. Reading to find out what we accomplished in the last time as a reactor pilot program, DOJ also micro reactor testing, launch pad ready for liftoff in March 2026. DOE and NRIC announced the establishment of the Nuclear Energy Launch Pad, building on the momentum of the reactor and fuel line programs. Launch Pad was created to help industry demonstrate a wider swath of advanced nuclear technologies on federal and non-federal lands. Launchpad fosters a robust, innovative ecosystem to support expanded. Okay, that's just testing. Add 300 gigawatts, 1.21 gigawatts of new U.S. nuclear capacity by 2050. Take away from president's executive order. These are all just executive orders, though. What's the policy? Yeah, whatever. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna count as similar or the same kind, but sure, fine. I'll accept it for now. Go on, Pete. He hasn't answered a question yet, by the way, just to be clear.
The table's almost set for immediate investment in growth and jobs and prosperity in a whole series of areas without even looking out at to where else can we cooperate.
The table is almost set to do a thing we were doing before your president decided to try to do economic terrorism on everybody.
There's been talk about the Arctic. We're waiting, okay, on this in terms of, does Canada want to do the Arctic by itself, defend the Arctic? There've been statements to that effect.
What do you mean? When has Canada ever said that they were going to defend the Arctic by itself? It's not even close to a thing that's real. Hold on, we gotta open Google Maps again. Hold on, let's go get Google Maps. Go to Google Earth. Oh, please hold. Let's pull this up because this fucking guy. Oh my god, just go. Go. No, I don't want to download it. I just want to go. Just go. Why are you so complicated? Alright, Google is loading. Let me look. Just let me look. Why don't you just let me explore Google Earth? Thank you. Jesus. Fucking shut up! God, why are you so complicated? Alright, where are we? Gotta find out where we're here's Google Earth. Is that Australia? What am I looking at? Is that Africa? Oh, there we go. Here's North America. Okay. Alright, there's Mexico. This is the Rocky Mountains. Here's Alaska. This is Alaska right here, right? So, this is the whole Arctic, right? So there's Greenland. There's Sweden and Finland up at the top here, right? It might be a little bit hard for you guys to see. There's the United Kingdom, there's Iceland, there's Greenland. This is all Canada. This is all Canada stuff. There's Japan over here, here's Russia, and here's Alaska. So, does the United States forget that Alaska exists? Like, is Pete Hookstra implying that Canada's going to defend Alaska for the on behalf of the United States? Because our prime minister has already gone to Norway, Sweden, Finland. Like, they have their own Iceland, Denmark. They all have their own meetings, and Canada was invited and went to talk about this whole scenario of defending this entire swath of Arctic stuff from Russia and China and I guess maybe the United States. I don't know. So, what do you mean? What do you mean? Okay. All right, go on.
Can you understand why? I think, a number of years ago, what you're laying out would have made perfect sense to Canadians, right? Deepening integration in the areas that matter most, particularly from a continental perspective. And in fact, that's what has occurred over so many years. But in the course of the last, year and a half, the hesitation that you are describing is likely the genesis of, comments and actions by the administration and by the president himself. Canada only works as a state. We don't need anything they have. As a state, it would be one of the great states anyway. Canada is totally dependent on the United States. Without us, Canada can't make it. If we stop buying their products, Canada would cease to exist as a country. If someone spoke to the United States that way, would you be...
I love the statement, if we stopped buying their products, Canada would cease existing as a country. I don't know of a statement that has backfired harder. Oh yeah, by the way, California was recently begging Ontario, or begging provinces and begging Canada to put their liquor back on the shelves, and we said LOL no.
Be advocating for deeper integration, or would you too have some hesitance?
We would take a look at our business community, where we're doing well. We wouldn't go to our largest trading partner and say there's a rupture, and we're actually going to be looking somewhere else.
You wouldn't do that if someone expressed to the United States. Pardon me, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. We would take a look at that.
Woman, let me finish saying nothing and not answer your question. Jesus.
And we'd say, okay, let's see exactly what we can develop, what kind of agreements we can develop. And obviously we would take a look at going to alternative sources. But Canadians are smart people. Okay? You have smart business people. They have been looking at diversification for years and decades.
Yeah. Yeah, they have been.
This is not a brilliant new idea that says, wow, let's sell to Europe, let's sell to Asia, okay?
He's trying to underplay the movement. That's very funny.
That's not a great insight. What they found, and I've spent
something doesn't have to be a new idea to be a profound insight, right? I'm 14 and this is deep. Just because it's been in the back of other people's minds before does not mean it's not a big deal, right? That's just not how that works.
A lot of time with your business community. They have found that doing business in Europe is not easy. It is hard, okay?
My guy, okay, I'm going back to Google Earth for a second. I'm going to show you. Want to know why Canada trades so much with the United States? That's why. Do you see that? You see on the screen? You see how you've got Canada right here? And you have this whole big long line right here? This whole big long line right here? And it borders the United States? Right there, you see that? You see this big, long, undefended border? That is the entire continent. It's the width of the entire continent. You guys, why would Canada trade with the United States so much? Why would we do something like that, guys? I don't understand. You want to see the other hard part? Look, you see this is the United Kingdom, and here's Europe. You see how Europe is way over here? You want me to make this north-facing again? Reset to north. There we go. You see how you've got the United Kingdom, Denmark, Norway, Poland, Romania, like it's all way over here, and there's this whole big chunk right here of ocean. You see that? You see how far this is? So you gotta, like, get stuff from in the middle of over here, because these are all of our, like, this is where we produce, like, our canola oil and stuff. All that's happening, like, right here. So we gotta get that all the way out, all the way over here. As opposed to just... Boink. At the end of the day, like, look how far away Japan is. Japan's crazy far. But, like, at the end of the day... there's lots of reasons why Canada and the US have integration and should have some integration and should have deals and agreements like CUSMA. It's beneficial for everybody to have a free trade agreement between our three countries on the same continent together that share such huge borders. It's convenient, it's easy, it's good for everybody. I don't know why you want to shoot yourself in the foot over and over again, but, you know... Europe, Asia, far away, US, near. Yes. Near, far. Near, far.
The French like to buy from the Germans, they like to buy from the Dutch, and they like to buy from the Spaniards and all those.
Oh, really? Does it have anything to do with the fact that France is... Okay, where's France? Where are you? There's France. France is right here, and Germany is right here, and Spain and France and Germany are bordering each other? Could it be that it's really convenient for France to trade with Germany because it's literally right there? this fucking guy, I swear to God. Oh. Oh. It's loading.
Okay, one last time. These are small, but the ones out there are far away. Small, far away. Ah, forget it.
Very funny.
Types of things. You know, maybe they would like to buy some Canadian, but it's not their first place where they go. So
bing bang, wall ting tang, geography exists. Can we also, like, talk for a second about how, like, there's things that you can buy from Canada that you won't be able to find or get as easily as you would find or get in Germany or in Italy? What do you say, Spain? From Spain and in France? Like, what is with this idiot? Canadians are really smart, so I'm gonna be really dumb.
So
they'll never figure it out.
I mean, this is for your economists to figure out how fast it can happen and those types of things. But I think it's hard. But I would never.
It's hard, therefore we shouldn't do it. Be lazy.
Take your biggest customer. We would never have taken our biggest customer and just thrown them under the bus and say sorry.
That is literally what you did. Yeah, Canada is the biggest customer of United States alcohol. Canada has one of the biggest trade situations with the United States, particularly in the automotive, aluminum, and steel industries. Those industries are kind of tied to, and lumber. Actually, Canada is one of the biggest trading partners for the United States for oil as well, by the way. For anybody who isn't aware of that. Yeah, do you want me to pull up the actual number? Let me see what it is. American oil imports. Oh, by country. That's what I'm looking for. Ha! Here you go. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. Isn't that crazy? Look how dark Canada is. 1.7 billion barrels. Hey, you notice how everywhere else is different colors? Like, see how that's 102.7 million, and over here is 28.6 million, and China 5.8 million, 1.7 billion. This is as of 2026, by the way, guys. Look, oil imported by the United States by the barrel. 0, 200 million, 400 million, 600 million, 800 million, 1 billion, 1.2 billion, 1.4 billion, 1.6 billion, 1.8 billion. Oh, 1.7 billion. You wouldn't throw your biggest trading partner under the bus? You wouldn't? Really? It's news to me. Oh, how unfortunate. Uh-oh, how unfortunate. That's almost like that's the exact fucking thing you did. Oops.
Sorry, we're out of here.
But do you understand how that's exactly how it felt to Canadians? And I know you.
Not even felt. Listen, lady. Fuck this guy. Be more aggressive. That's not how it felt. That's what it was. That's what it is. The United States president actually said that he was intentionally causing economic turmoil in Canada to weaken Canada on purpose.
You push back against these, but we were your biggest customer,
Let's
right?
talk about business. Okay.
Then what? How are we not talking about business, my guy? How is this lady literally saying we are your biggest customer? Oh no! Let's talk business. He's very business minded.
How are you going to create jobs and prosperity?
This guy makes me think of like an old uncle who thinks he knows what he's talking about over turkey dinner at Thanksgiving, who just likes to talk over the women who are actually professionals in the field that he's talking about. And the women just go, okay, whatever, go ahead. You talk, Uncle Pete, go for it. Before he falls asleep on the lounger, like on the lazy boy, and everybody ignores him.
For your people. We do business with people that don't say the nicest things about America. All right?
What? Because business isn't about personal feelings. That's not business. That's not how business works. Business is not about that at all. What are you talking about?
Okay, how are you going to create jobs and prosperity for your people? We do business with people that don't say the nicest things about America. All right? And, we do business. The amazing thing is a lot of Canadian business are still...
This man is just meandering.
looking at expanding into the U.S.
Of course.
There's a lot of American businesses that would love to do business in Canada, even though you ban our products. We can't bid on procurement and those types.
Oh, isn't America the ones that banned Kinder eggs? We didn't ban American alcohol in Canada. It's not banned. It's not illegal to have American alcohol. Our government-run stores are not selling it. And that's a provincial decision. The provinces have made that decision, and not every province made that decision. Alberta, for example, if I'm not mistaken, it still has American alcohol available on shelves. But the problem is like, nobody's buying it. No, like, Canadians are not buying American alcohol, so it's not a good business decision to invest money in buying American alcohol regardless. But it's not banned. There's no prohibition on it. That's not true.
Types of things.
I have questioned many federal ministers about the efforts to diversify, the challenges previously, and the challenges that presents right now. But you framed the initial comment there around,
I have a question. What jobs are lost on Canadian soil because we're not importing American alcohol? Because that's what he just likened that to. Does anybody in the chat know of any jobs that have been lost because of that ban in Canada? Ban. Because I can't think of one off the top of my head. So if anybody knows a different one, or knows of one, because I can't think of one. Because the people that are selling alcohol in these stores that aren't procuring American alcohol are still working in those stores because we procured alcohol from other places. It's not like like all the Canadians stopped drinking. We are still very much a bunch of alcoholics. we drink, especially Ontario, we drink a lot. Canada, population percentage-wise, drinks more alcohol than America does. Isn't Alberta the Mississippi of Canada? Alberta's the Texas of Canada. In my humble opinion.
Taking issue with the fact that it's being described as a rupture, but you want us to refer to...
Yeah, it's such a baby nitpick. He's just picking on the language. Maybe one truck driver who had to find another load. Oh, yeah, Kira makes a good point. Yeah, could be like a little bit of, that's a good one, yeah.
The comments from the president, for example, or the way in which he's described this country as simply noise. I'm presenting to you just like when you're wondering why there might be some hesitation not to further integration or make that sales pitch. in the way you describe it, that perhaps is part of it, that part of the responsibility and the onus, the burden of that lies not just with Canada, but specifically with the president who decided to take aim at your close friend and neighbor.
We did not take aim at Canada.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. It did not, it's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not, ow, hi Mark. What do you... Listen, America didn't purposefully attack and threaten to annex Canada at all. I don't know what you mean. That didn't happen. The last year didn't happen. My guy, do you actually think we're this fucking stupid?
Those statements are not taking aim, with all due respect, Ambassador.
The taking aim...
All due respect is zero. The zero respect. None. At all. Pete Hookstra does not deserve respect of any variety. He gets the respect of, I acknowledge that you are a human being. That's about it. That's the line you're at with me.
Take a look at your economic, we put tariffs on every country in the world.
And she asked about the statements. She asked about the statements that were being made, that she read out to you. What the fuck? That's what he did in the Netherlands too, flat out denying the shit Trump said. Yeah, he's very bad at this. He's not good at his job. He must be a DEI hire.
We did not take aim at Canada. We took a policy that we were implementing on a global basis that we believed we had to put in place to keep America strong and prosperous. So, there were only two countries that responded in a strongly negative way. Okay? The rest of the world, we've negotiated trade agreements.
Oh, really? Have you threatened to annex those other countries? Is it possible that you were more hostile towards some of those other countries? I would like to take this moment to remind. I'll take this moment to remind everybody that this is Trump's second term. And in his first term, the first time, before Joe Biden became president, the first time he was in office, he did the same thing. And Canadians were equally as fucking confused the first time. So you slapped us in the first time, and we were like, what? Okay, all right, Jesus. And now the second time, you're mad that we're like, no, fuck you. My guy, please. Yeah, if you're looking for this, the link is in the description down below.
Okay. The rest of the world, we've negotiated trade agreements, we've worked on frameworks and those types of things. We did not.
And have zero trade deals done. Zero. None. Zip, zilch, nada. You ain't got shit. 100 deals in 100 days.
Take aim at Canada.
Yes, you did.
Really? And I asked
Really? She's like, are you fucking serious? I have never heard a more professional "are you fucking serious" in my life. Really? With great respect. Zero respect. None. No respect. Really? Amazing.
At Canada.
Really? And I ask with great respect, because yes, you did apply tariffs to other countries, but you initially applied 232 fentanyl-associated tariffs to Canada. And wherein the president, did not refer to every other country in the way that, as I cataloged, he has referred.
That's exactly what I said. He didn't threaten to annex every other country on the planet. I remember you covering Pete Hookstra on a press briefing, and he was attempting to ignore a question. The other journalist spoke up that he got to answer the question. All the journalists were asking him the same question. I think that's a brilliant move by journalists. Are you talking about in Denmark? Because I think that might have been Denmark. One of the most brilliant things I think I've ever seen a group of journalists do is if somebody is ignoring a question and you really want to force them to answer, all the journalists ask the same question so that way they can't weasel out of anything or move on to something else. The other thing that I really, really do wish the press would do is stop barking like a bunch of mad dogs inside the White House or every time Trump is doing anything, and it's just such a chaotic mess, and Trump is doing it on purpose. So if they could like unionize around not doing that and like just raise your hands quietly and then let him pick instead of like this shouting bullshit, it would be so much more, it'd be more effective and it'd be way more amusing.
To Canada. I understand that you're upset with the response that Canada made.
I'm not upset. It doesn't bother
president,
me.
okay, you don't view
He is very upset and it very much bothers him.
the response from Canada positively. But from where I sit, it seems like you're frustrated with the idea that when Canada got punched, they didn't just lay there.
Yeah.
That, Canada can have whatever response it wants, okay? We are willing to do business with Canada. The president has made that clear. He embraced the agreement back in October for 5 huge sectors of this economy, saying we were willing to invest, we were willing to cooperate and create a framework that we thought would be good for America and we thought would be good for Canada, and that we would then take that and expand it to other sectors of a total agreement.
This is after the illegal tariffs that you did, violating our prior agreements. But besides that, so then why isn't that the deal we're doing? Why isn't that going through, Hook?
And
and what?
So, but if
and
Canada
what?
wants to be hesitant, they can do that. But the other message that we send is very positive. We recognize the needs we have. Okay, we need critical minerals. We've indicated to Canada, we think you're very much a natural partner. You're close by. You have lots of.
We don't need anything from Canadians.
These, but if you don't want to sign an agreement with us, we understand. Okay, but that doesn't mean we're going to stop. Okay, so we go to Australia, we go to Africa, we go to the Philippines, lots of other countries to meet our needs, even though we think in many ways Canada would be the preferred partner. Same thing.
I would like to again bring up the oil. What do you say, Australia? 180,000 barrels from Australia. What do you say, the Philippines? Where are the Philippines? Are they even here? Are they even part of this? What do we got? South Sudan, Congo. I don't know where the Philippines are. Libya, Algeria, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Turkey. I thought the Philippines was down here somewhere. Am I crazy? I mean, they just might not do nitpick, but Africa is not a country. Oh, valid? Am I crazy? Oh, well, that's Indonesia. Malaysia, Thailand, India, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, Philippines. Yo, they don't even get any oil. They get none. There's no oil coming from the Philippines. 0. None. That's in the 0 range. It's grayed out. It's not even a participant. Okay.
Thing on oil. We would love to.
See? Oil. You were about to be like, but he didn't specify oil. Maybe. Like, he's like, what are you talking about? Like, he's not talking about oil. He's talking about oil. Fucking lie to me. You thought I wasn't, no, I got it. I know what's going on here.
Countries to meet our needs, even though we think in many ways Canada would be the preferred partner. Same thing on oil. We would love to, do more business with Alberta.
More business with Alberta specifically. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Your wife a goer.
Oil producing provinces, and because we have the infrastructure, we know how to do business with the Canadian businesses that are on the north side of the border. We know how to build pipelines. We know how to get oil from Alberta down to Houston, okay? That infrastructure's in place. But if Canada says, no, we don't want a pipeline and we don't want any more integration.
You already have the pipeline. You already have the infrastructure. We didn't stop this agreement. You stopped this agreement.
With the U.S. on oil, it's kind of like, okay, then we'll have to look somewhere else because we are going to be energy dominant.
You are going to be energy dominant by getting oil from other places? Where? No offense, my guy, but where on the planet are you going to go to replace 1.7 billion barrels? I don't mean to accuse you of being fucking delusional. But here's the thing, didn't he mention moving away from oil by going nuclear? You want to know where the uranium is? It's in Australia and it's in Canada. Those are the two places where you're going to get uranium. Canada has some of the purest uranium on the fucking planet. So where are you going to get your fucking goddamn... Where are you going to get your fucking uranium for your nuclear plants? If you're trying to move away from not having to, like, spend 1.7 billion barrels of oil and spending and getting it in Canada. My guy, like, where are you going? Like, where are you gonna go? None of these are even close. 1,000 million. Not even a single other country reaches 1 billion. Not even one. So, my guy, where are you going to go? And if you renegotiate CUSMA with Canada, guess what's going to happen? The oil that you're already importing from Canada is going to get more expensive. Because why not? Why wouldn't it? We already sell our oil to you super cheap as a favor. How do y'all get all the uranium? Geography. It's just where we're at. It just happens to be where the uranium is. Because Canada is a really nice sweet spot. All right, we got tons of lumber. We've got tons of wildlife game. We've got tons of uranium and critical minerals. We've got tons of fucking oil. We've got fucking uranium out the wazoo. We've got potash up here. We got so much goddamn fresh water and lakes. We maxed out our resource spec. That's what we did. The US is not going to be energy dominant if it cannot get self-sufficient. Yeah, no, the United States in the direction that it's headed in is not going to be energy dominant. And the only reason why Pete Hookstra is even making this statement in the first place is because Mark Carney, our prime minister, has gone around saying that Canada's going to be an energy superpower. And there's literally no reason why Canada shouldn't be an energy superpower in the direction of that the world is going, right? Like, the amount of fucking hydroelectricity that the United States buys from Canada at a discount in this whole coast, this whole spot, this whole northern chunk right here, is this all fucking powered by hydroelectricity. So, like, the only reason he's doing this is to make some kind of comparison, like the United States, like, no. The United States has space to do, like, solar and wind energy, but they're not doing it. They have the space to build nuclear facilities, but they're not doing it. And again, even if they do build nuclear facilities, where are they going to get the uranium from? Are they going to get the uranium from Australia? I'm going back to Google Earth for a second. Sorry, hold on. Let's go back. Reset to north, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so if they get no offense to Australia, because I like Australia. I think Australia is cool. But if our uranium is up in here, and the United States wants uranium, and look at how quick that bloop, bloop, and like, what did he say about already having the infrastructure? Oh, bloop! It's almost like it's like, bloop, it's right there. It's like a little hop, skip, and a jump, and there's all your uranium, guys. As opposed to Australia, which is all the way over here on the other side of the fucking planet. So, not that I don't think that people shouldn't buy uranium from Australia, but it is a lot more energy, a lot more work, a lot more dangerous, and takes a lot more money to be able to transport uranium from Australia to America than it does from Canada to the United States. I feel like these fucking idiots that are running the United States right now just don't understand that geography is a thing. They think it's magic.
They're not saying that right now, though, right?
Who's that?
Like anybody in the federal government or provincially that is in an oil-producing province or the prime minister. I mean, they talk about the prospect of the other version of Keystone. We've seen presidential permits issued on that side of the border, work being done on this side of the border. You even denoted a few weeks ago a bit of a shift in tone from the prime minister and other politicians. Does that have the potential to make any difference moving forward?
If it's consistent. Okay, if it's consistent.
Do you observe it to be so far?
Well, I mean, I think there was a very good response to the Prime Minister's speech in New York. His most recent comments in France raised questions again. There's going to be a new world order. It's going to come out of Europe, and Canada wants to be a part of it. It's kind of like, okay.
Can't that just be noise? If we're supposed to make Donald Trump noise, can't that just be noise?
It's noise. And we have to work through the noise, but we haven't come back and said, okay, yeah, we're not going to do business with Canada. We're still saying.
Canada didn't say we're not going to do business with the United States. That's not what we said. That's not what we said at all. That's definitively not what anybody said. Hi, welcome.
We are willing to do business with Canada. We want to do business with Canada. It could be noise. And then part of my job is to interpret it and present it back to the president and say, they really do want to do business with us. But at the same time, there are questions that are raised in terms of do they? There was just a defense contract that U.S. companies couldn't even bid on. It's kind of like...
Yeah, because your president said you were going to sell faulty shit that was worse than yours. You're literally saying you're going to scum everybody. So why would anybody want to even bother with your fucking companies at all? Like, what do you mean? It's so ridiculous. Tom in the chat says, this might sound weird, but I would respect him more if he was more direct about what he actually believes and less wishy-washy. I agree. I have far more respect for people who are truthful and consistent. Pete Hookstra cannot be either of those things. Because as much as he just said, oh, it would need to be consistent, he is literally the mouthpiece in Canada for one of the most inconsistent presidents that the United States has ever seen, if not the most. And the only person he's competing with is himself from his first term. So, like, I don't like Pete Hookstra, and he's got a shit job.
Okay, that's a problem.
I'm glad you brought that up, if you don't mind, Ambassador, because I did want to ask about the F-35s. You rightly pointed out last time we met, in our first interview, I
try to do everything rightfully, even though I'm wrong so often.
No.
Shut up.
Around NORAD, right? And whether or not, we're still, it's funny because that was almost a year ago, and we're still talking about whether or not Canada will proceed with the F-35s. That it's been well over a year that review has been underway. There's some reporting now that they'll still proceed with the order, but add an order for the Gripens. How does the U.S. view that? And is NORAD in jeopardy with this decision?
I think that's actually a good question, and I feel like this is a question that Pete Hookstra should be able to actually answer, like, just straightly. I don't think he's going to, but I think this is, like, a question he should be able to do. On the other hand, I've talked about this before, but I will point it out here. I am of the opinion that I think Canada and the Canadian government, the federal government, is purposefully dragging its feet on the F-35 deal. It's not that they haven't made a decision. It's that we haven't made a decision. We need to review everything to make sure we're doing what's best for Canadians. And they're just dragging their feet. They're just standing there, like, hands up, getting dragged across the floor with their feet on like a toddler. That's what's happening. And there are reasons why I think this is a good idea. I'm in agreement with doing that, but anybody who I feel like if you think that Canada is just waffling, I think you've missed what's going on. They are purposefully dragging their feet and dragging it out intentionally.
The one decision will not kill NORAD, okay? What we look at is a whole series of decisions that say, if you buy fighters that don't integrate with the latest technology, and the best airplane in the world, you know, they don't really count as full airplanes. They're
What? The latest American technology. Are the F-35s the best plane in the world? Since this, we bought German subs and Norwegian missiles. Good point, Jason. Good point. Like, see, Canada could be moving on the F-35 deal, but for some reason we're not. We also bought the surveillance program from Australia for the Arctic. It's almost like Canada's been moving pretty hard on its military, but for some reason I can't possibly understand why we're dragging our feet on the F-35s. What do you mean they don't really count as full airplanes? Are you just saying that if, like, Canada wouldn't be meeting its like NORAD spending agreements if we don't buy your products? Because that's what it sounds like you're saying, and that sounds like horse shit. That sounds like that's not part of the deal. It sounds like I've altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further. Oh, okay.
they're capable and all that, but if they don't link to an F-35, that's a problem.
Why?
If you buy surveillance or spy planes that don't integrate with NORAD or the U.S., okay, you know, that becomes an issue. If you say you want to protect the Arctic by yourselves, okay, that says, well, okay, then are we changing the boundaries and the scope of the work that NORAD? Those are things that we have, you know, that you work through with discussions and those kinds of things.
Okay.
When did Canada ever say it wanted to protect the Arctic by itself? Are we also going to just skip over that Donald Trump was trying to do a protection racket with his golden dome, that he was gonna, you know, we're gonna build a wall and Mexico's gonna pay for it, and oh, we're gonna build a golden dome and Canada's gonna pay for it? Like, does the United States, does Pete Hookstra, do people in the United States understand that you cannot do NORAD without Canada? That the United States' missile defense systems from a northern-facing attack do not work without Canada? Like, they do not function? I mean literally. This isn't figurative rhetorical language. I mean, you literally cannot fucking do it. It literally, like, it doesn't function. Do they not know this? Is this not something Americans are aware of? Does it... NATO exists. NATO still exists for now, yeah. I don't know if you guys noticed, but underneath the umbrella of NATO, there's been a handful of, like, handshaking agreements between other countries that are excluding the United States. Or, like, the United States has not been involved in. So, like, Germany and Canada, the Nordic countries and Canada, Australia and Canada, the EU and Canada, France and Canada. Like, there's been a lot of this, like, you know, things like the what is it called? The something of the willing. I can't remember. It's not the something of the willing, which is related to Israel and Palestine. There's also, like, all the stuff going on with Ukraine and Canada and Poland and Canada. We're gonna see what Hungary's about to do, since they just flipped their government. So we'll see what that looks like in a little while. Like none of these things involve the United States, or they involve the United States as a coalition. Thank you, the coalition of the willing. There's like the United States exists and it's over here, and everybody's like, yeah, no, yeah. Anyway, so it's like this is what's going on.
I'm going to leave it on that note. I've taken enough of your time. Thank you, Ambassador. A pleasure. I appreciate you making the time for it.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
The end. We did it. Congratulations. Yippee, everybody. So Pete Hookstra's an idiot. He continues to be an idiot. The things he say makes it either seem like he's lying or he doesn't know what he's talking about. His understanding of geopolitics seems shallow at best. His understanding of Canadians seems next to non-existent, in my humble opinion. He does not understand, like, Canadians culturally, which is a really bad thing to be when you're a representative of another country in the country that you don't understand. Childish. Yeah, Pete Hookstra is childish. His tonality, his understanding, his tit for tat style of trying to insult Canada while pretending he's not. It's like yeah, we get it. We know it's fine.